ठीक है, तो आज बात करते हैं कैनेडियन ऑडियंस से. सो लेट्स टॉक टू द कैनेडियन ऑडियंस टुडे. बहुत सारे लोगों के मैसेज आए यार, बहुत सारे लोगों के मैसेज दैट counselors are basically telling these students who want to go to Canada that you do not need the IELTS anymore. You can just go ahead and apply. And a lot of students messaged me regarding this, that there are so many counselors, 2 or 3 counselors who have reached out to them and have advertised the admission in Canada without IELTS. So we are going to dig deep down and we're going to talk about whether it is still possible, or are they, if they have any credibility to their claims. Basically, if it's happening, then you should take advantage of it. If it's not happening, then you should know about it and you should not fall into the trap of people who are trying to scam you into buying their policies, basically, that you can basically just go ahead. So that's what we're going to be clearing in this video. If you're interested, continue watching. Alright guys, तो मेरे को पता है कि if you are from India or any other country and you're hoping to go into Canada, things might not be clear at all, because the whole world, it seems, has been on a lockdown at this point, and it's been very, very difficult for us to understand how to go about the process at this point when practically the whole world is shut down. You cannot go for your biometrics, you cannot go for your health checkups, you cannot basically do most of the things that you need to do to actually apply to Canada. Now, with that said, does that mean that you still cannot apply? Of course, the universities are accepting admissions. There are a lot of people who are still being admitted. There are a lot of people who are also deferring their admissions. But what does that mean for you? And can you take advantage of the scenario and go to Canada without actually taking the IELTS? Let me give you the answer in clear terms, okay? So, as you might know, there are so many international students that come to Canada every single year. And the fact is that I just googled this fact. They bring in 22 billion Canadian dollars into the Canadian economy. That's every single year, $22 billion. Now, this can be through their GIC, through their insurance, whatever they do, really. They are bringing in $22 billion. Is that not a big enough amount for Canada to actually, just consider that these people should still bring in this amount of money every single year? So, why should it stop this year? And that's what the universities are trying to do. They're trying to get you to go to Canada at this point. Even if the situation is not seeming clear, even if there are no jobs, you have to be the one making the decision. You have to make that decision, because the universities still want their revenue. That's one thing for sure. Coming to the point, $22 billion is not a small number, and that's why universities are, of course, finding alternative ways. They are saying, hey, we will be ready to accept you, but are they really saying that we will accept you without the IELTS, as these counselors are actually stating? No, not at all. If someone is telling you that they are basically going to get you an admission into a Canadian university without the IELTS, without any English language test, that's a fraud, because that's not going to happen. And you can actually verify that. I'll help you verify that. Just take a look at some of these screenshots. Let me actually show you 3 universities. I went to their websites and not a single one of them said that they are waiving off the requirement of the IELTS. Of course, the testing centers are closed. We understand that. We know that. So how are these universities managing? That's exactly what I'm going to be telling you over here, okay? So just read this, okay? This is from the McMaster University. You might know it's a very prominent university in Canada, and they're saying, in response to the closures of English language testing centers, McMaster University is offering the following temporary changes to assist students. So all of this is temporary. As long as the situation out there does not improve, this will probably continue. And what they're saying is that, hey, if you cannot take the IELTS due to some reason, the testing centers are closed near your home and they're not functional, what you can do is you can take, number 1, the TOEFL online test. So you can take the TOEFL. That's a test by ETS. You can take it online at your home. It's also something that used to be offline at test centers, but they have actually introduced some new technology where we can basically just do the test online. So that's what they have said. You can do the test online and you can use TOEFL scores to get into the university. That's McMaster for you. The other test they have said is Duolingo. This is another online testing company that you can basically enroll with. You can say, all right, I'm going to be giving the Duolingo test, and they will accept this score also. Again, this is also temporary. So do not think that if you want to apply next year, you can take this test. I would not advise you to do that. Okay. Now you can actually see they have also given the same, English language testing minimal requirements, that hey, you need to have these minimal requirements before you actually come to our university, before you actually apply to our university. So they've given the requirements for each and every test. There was actually Duolingo also at the bottom. I didn't scroll down so much, but hey, these screenshots are from right now. Literally before making this video, I clicked these screenshots. Okay, so yeah, you can be sure that if there's someone who's trying to basically cheat you, you should not go to them at this point. Okay, and besides, I'll give you my perspective also. Should you go to Canada at this point? I'll give that to you as well. First, let's take a look at UBC as well. UBC has the same sort of requirements. For those of you who might already know, but some people might not, University of British Columbia is again one of the top 5 universities in Canada, and you can see that again they're not waiving off the requirements. Applicants outside, basically applicants from a university outside Canada in which English is not the primary language of instruction, must provide the results of an English language proficiency exam. So again, there you have it. They've given the minimal scores. They've told you that hey, you need to take the test. What also I saw, for some universities, what they are doing is that they're saying, hey, you can also take the test from our own university. We have built this English language test, could be anything XYZ depending on the university, but you can take that test as well. Some universities are taking up interviews. Some universities are checking your grades and your the board that you passed from, or the university that you did your bachelor's from. So it will depend on a lot of factors. Every university is trying out different ways to get through this pandemic right now. And the one thing that I can see is that some consultants are trying to take advantage of that and make more money just by luring kids into believing that IELTS is not required. IELTS is not required, but that does not mean that no test is required. You still need to take an English language test. Okay, you can again see the same thing on the University of Lethbridge's website. They're saying again they're accepting TOEFL, IELTS and PTE. So there needs to be a test that you have taken to prove your proficiency in English, because hey, in the end, if you're from a non-English speaking country and you're going to an English speaking country to study, that's the Canada in this case. So you need to be able to prove to them that yeah, I will be able to cope up with the program. And a huge part of that happens by taking one of these tests. It is imperative. It has happened every single year for so many years, and they're not going to be changing that just now. Okay, so I hope this video makes some sense. It clarifies some doubts. But one thing that I want to talk about is, should you go to Canada at this point? I would say this is a bad time to go, especially if you're going for a program which is just 2 years long. If it's more than that, then it's perfectly fine. Go. If it's a 3-year long program, 4-year long program, that's a good thing. Bachelor's, PhD students, you should be protected. You will ride out the pandemic in any case. But as for the students who are master students, understand this. There are so many people in Canada without a job right now. Now, the situation can even get worse if the pandemic does not start improving. In some countries, it has started improving. In some countries, it's still not improving. Okay, and the fact is, if it does not improve, and even if it improves, just understand this. There are so many people who are unemployed right now, and the Canadian government's focus as of now is not on immigration. They're not focusing on bringing more people into the country, but they're focusing on, all right, these are the people who are already in the country. We want to make sure that they are comfortable, they have jobs, they are contributing to the economy. Because if they just focus on these new people, then these people who are already unemployed, it will basically create a lot of problem for them. As you can understand, like every government would want their existing citizens to actually be flourishing first, to actually add on more and more people, right? So yeah, that's one important thing. I wanted you to understand that I do not believe it's a great time to enter Canada. I would say just put your dream on the hold for maybe the next 6, 7, 8 months, and then you can go on for the next term. Maybe you can even go in January or February, but for now, for the September intake, I would say you should hold off and you should not go. And I want you guys to actually share this with people who need to know. Share this with the parents of people. If they cannot understand English, I would be happy to make this in Hindi as well. Same to same video, exact copy. I'll do that for the parents. Just let me know down below. If I get enough comments, I will do that. But make sure that this reaches the people so that they do not get cheated by some of these consultancies who are just trying to make money by telling you that you don't need to take the IELTS. Yeah, you do not need to take the IELTS. That's 100% true. But at the same time, you do need to take some tests. So, and secondly, the situation over there is not good. All these unemployed people, they're gonna be in the market for the next 1 year at least, right, before they start getting these jobs. So you're gonna be competing against them. Even if you want an internship, you're gonna be competing against them. Try not to get into this competition, because that's something that you can easily avoid just by being a little more flexible with your timeline. Maybe take 1 year to improve your profile, to work a job, get some experience, and it'll only help you. Trust me, I'm only saying this because I care about you. There's no monetary benefit involved over here. Like, literally, how can I even gain anything from this, right? So just take my advice over here. I want you to hold off. I personally would not go as well, like if I wanted to go at this point. Okay. One more thing, if you haven't checked out ymgrad.com, it's a community where you can meet and interact a lot of other students who are going through the same process that you are going, same process of studying in US, Canada, Germany, Australia, anywhere you want to study in the world, and they're having the same doubts. So you can discuss over there. You can see the universities, you can see their statistics over there. You will know exactly when to apply, which university you should apply to depending on your profile, which is a good university for you, and you will make sure that you are not wasting any money in that. And I think that's huge, right? I mean, if just maybe checking out a website can save, I don't know, $1,000, that's crazy amount of money for me. I mean, I'm sure it should be for you as well, right? So please make sure that you hold off for the semester. Check out the website, make sure that you are shortlisting correctly and everything is going on correctly. For the next year, you want to be ready, of course, right? And subscribe to the channel if you like this video. I just wanted to give you my honest advice on this one, and I'll keep bringing more honest advice, genuine information that for you on this channel itself. Okay, thank you so much for being with me today. It genuinely means the world to me, and I'll see you in the next one.